is that? I got any benders out here? Yeah, I got some benders. Well, I'll tell you what, I am feeling lighter than air. I got a belly full of fire because we have an earth-shattering panel for you. So what are we waiting for? Let's bring him out. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Aang, Zach Tyler Eisen. The voice of Sokka, Jack DeSena. Hi! The voice of Suki. Oh wait, no, sorry. The voice of Ty Lee. Olivia Hack. I wanted to put them through their paces. Okay, the voice of Suki, Jenny Kwan. And the one and only cabbage merchant, JC. How we feeling, everyone? Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for having us.
Hey, guys.
Hello. What's up, y'all?
Let's get started. I want to start off real quick with some pretty cool news that we got this week, which is that Avatar: The Last Airbender is actually getting a AAA video game from Saber Interactive. It's going to be, yeah, we're excited, right? It's set it's thousands of years in the past. It's an avatar that we've never met. What is something that you're excited to see from a game that's going to explore a totally new chapter of Avatar history?
I mean, I think you just said it, to meet a new Avatar, right? Like, the possibilities are endless for them. It's so cool.
They've done such a good job with the world building throughout the different series between Atla and Korra, so to see a whole other time period is just going to add to all of this, and there's just so much possibilities in this universe, and yeah, it's going to be cool. New Avatar just dropped, let's go!
Yeah. I'm excited for like a pacifism run food tour, just roll around, eating all the different level up your cabbage power, right? Yeah. That's it'll be like hit points, cabbage points. Something that I love about Avatar: The Last Airbender and really appreciate about it is that it's widely considered a masterpiece of animated storytelling, and it's something that I think over the years people have gotten a lot quicker to recognizing that. What was it like when you first started making the show, kind of having the high quality of the show, almost like kind of something that you had to, I know, Jack, you've told stories about how people would come up to you in college and be like afraid to tell you that they loved Avatar.
Yeah, well, it was a kid's show, obviously, so like, you know, I wouldn't watch that stuff, but if I did, it seems pretty good. Yeah, it was a very, it was a gradual unfolding, even just like in the process of making it, reading the scripts, slowly realizing, okay, the level of serialization that the show is going to, you know, they don't lay it all out for you when you're making the pilot. We make the pilot, and it's like, this is a very cool action-adventure show. I'm interested in what the world is, but like you don't, until you start reading multiple scripts, it was a slow reveal. The depth of the world, the level of serialization, the like arcs these characters were going to go on, was a beautiful surprise each time we like cracked a new script, and especially for me, I would say like we made the pilot. It was like, okay, I'm gonna be a comedic character. I'm gonna do a lot of comic relief stuff, and so to start getting episodes where it's like, okay, we're delving into stuff, we're expanding this character in different directions was like such an honor. Yeah, but it was just like piecing together. Well, we're doing something special here.
And there was also like a level of skepticism around it when it first came out because, you know, it was this anime style show that was coming out on Nickelodeon, right? And people were, you know, real anime fans were a little bit skeptical about, you know, what is this going to be? How are they going to be able to do the things that we want to see on a kids network? So yeah, it was really a slow burn, and people ask me this question all the time. Like, but yeah, we were really figuring out the story for ourselves in real time, and also like part of what makes the show so great is how it ended. So, you know, and we didn't know that until we got the final scripts. So, like, it really took a while. And for me, as a kid doing this, it was what started to make it more obvious was like I was getting adults coming up to me and being like, I love this show. And I'm like, what? Like, it's a Nickelodeon show. Like, what are you doing? But then, yeah, that really started to make it clear what was going on.
You must have had a similar experience of Aang with people just coming up to you and saying, "You're the Avatar."
Totally, and like that has not slowed down all these years later. It's only increased, which
here we are.
Yeah,
here we are. Zach, I want to ask you something. You recorded a lot of the show most of the cast recorded the show, I think, here in LA. You recorded a lot of your stuff from Connecticut.
Yeah.
I want to know, did that sort of separation inform your performance as Aang, who himself sort of feels separate from the crew?
That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it absolutely did in many ways. It's interesting because like that's kind of what I knew. I was always an East Coast-based person, and obviously a lot of the work exists out here. So I had been used to recording alone for many of the other characters and franchises that I was a part of. But you know, I think the credit goes to our voice director Olivia Romano for making it feel so cohesive, and like I really had to play off of her because I was really never in the same room as any of these people.
We never recorded together. We met at the season 3 wrap party.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
so like legitimately, like the chemistry that those two characters have is like exists in the brain of Olivia Romano. Like she knew what to get from both of us to pull that together and create. It's really a testament to her directing skills.
100%.
Yeah.
She's a legend too.
Yeah. She is, yeah. Batman the Animated Series.
Batman the Animated Series,
Animaniacs. Ever heard of that one? Teen Titans.
I mean, all of it. She's incredible.
Olivia Romano, legend of the genre. Speaking of legends of the genre, hi Olivia.
Hi, sorry, pointing out a Zuko in the audience.
Oh yeah, Zuka. All right,
Good
dang.
Zuko, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Something that you play Ty Lee in the show, and something that I love about Ty Lee is just how much she contrasts both Azula and May. She is such a fish out of water, even within that friend group. What do you think it is about Ty Lee that makes her such an important and valuable friend to Azula?
Well, two-part answer to that. So while Zach and Jack were doing their diligent work as actors and reading the scripts and figuring out the world, I didn't read the scripts. Because I came in season 2, I tried, and I was like, Fire Nation, Earth Belt, like what? None of this makes sense,
really
right?
hard.
You haven't seen the show. And so I would just kind of read my lines. And I saw her and she was pink. So I just played it pink. I was like, oh, she's just happy and pink and whatever. And so it wasn't until I did my first con like 15 years ago and someone said, what's it like to be a villain in Avatar? And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, she rides this lizard and there's a, what?
Takes people's bending
yes,
away.
so really you're just like getting the performance of someone who just thought she was playing like a happy pink girl. Like, I don't know. But Ty Lee is so important to the show because really like she's kind of the most powerful of them all in terms of like being able to take away bending, all of that. And I mean, her dynamic with Azula is so interesting, and I know that there's a lot of people that have they ship, you know, Tyzula in their own way, which I ship Tyzula, so I'm a fan of that narrative. But
Not a single woo from the crowd for Tyzula.
Yeah. People have healthier standards for relationships.
okay, but here's the thing:
Thank you.
it's important to have all types of relationships be, you know, represented, and some are toxic, and you learn from toxic relationships.
Representation for toxic relationships.
Yes. But you know, Azula gets her comeuppance, and Ty Lee comes into her power, and all of that. But really, like, I think everybody kind of learns a lot just in terms of bending and all of that from Ty Lee. So it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of story beats in the show that are sort of like hard to wrap your head around, certainly on the page too. Jenny, for you, like, of course you play Suki, and I've got some questions about Suki. You also voice Yue, Princess Yue of the Northern Water Tribe, aka the Moon.
Wait a minute here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a contradiction, I know, but I forgot about that. Now, I'm being honest, you guys. I really did. So, it was funny because does anybody remember the Ember Island episode? Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Jack was like, no, she didn't. That was my first girlfriend. But so for some reason, I came across it, I rewatched it, and I was like, this is such a fun episode. And so I see Yue coming down off the moon, you know, in the play, and I was like, wow, she sounds very familiar. I had to wait till the credits because I was like, oh yeah, that is me. I forgot about that. And then I remembered when we were in the booth, they're like, okay, Andrea was like, okay, Jenny, you're gonna play Yue. I was like, no, I'm not. But yeah, so it was just a spoof, and that was really fun. And now I remember I did.
Moonception.
That's
Moonception.
right. There you go.
Now,
there
James.
Moonception, I like that.
James, I got a question for you. The Cabbage Merchant is this Settle. And if you have cabbages, oh my God.
Oh, my God.
I see the cabbages right there. I was about to say, hold on to those.
Wow.
Don't let those fly. That's not what we're here for.
Be careful with those cabbages. People will be coming for them.
They're valuable, and you know what? If you hold on to them, they're going to increase in value, because if you watch from Avatar: The Last Airbender to Korra, the Cabbage Corp stock goes way up in 100 years.
Hold the line.
Now I'm curious, there have been kind of rumors about a new animated series that would follow the next Avatar in the cycle. I have to imagine the Cabbage Corp has probably become like even more of a global superpower in that time. Where would you want to see the Cabbage Corp in another 100 years? Are we in space by that point?
Let's see. I would prefer that they get out of the industrial military complex.
You don't want to see diversify that portfolio.
So I would think they would probably get into the hybridization of different vegetables to grow in better climates. I'm hoping it'd be more philanthropic. Like
there are plenty of hybrids in Avatar. I'm
Right.
sure we could mix two
vegetables.
together, two veggies together.
Right, yes.
This one's kind of for everybody, because Nick Animation meant so much. I literally have a Nicktoons backpack back in the back there. Nick Animation meant so much to me. I want to know for each of you, what was your personal favorite animated Nick show? Just of all, we'll go of all time. Zach, I'll start with you. And you can't say Avatar. You're biased, all of you. We all know it.
I think I was always a big Nickelodeon kid. I have this thing with my friends where I think it's possible to go around a table of your friends who you know as adults and decide if they were a Cartoon Network kid or a Nickelodeon kid. It's obvious in your personality as an adult. I maintain that. I was a Nickelodeon kid. I was really big into SpongeBob, still am, obviously. But I also love like the Rugrats. I recently watched an old Rugrats episode, threw it on, and it hit. I was not expecting it to, but
Rugrats holds up.
Really well.
That is also getting a live action. That is getting a live action CG hybrid movie.
Whoa. Really?
Do we need that?
Like E-Trade babies? I think so. I am so excited for that.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, but yeah.
I think if they look as kind of terrifying and strange as those babies look in the show, you could have something pretty cool. Jack, what about you?
Rugrats would definitely be my one of my tops. I was a big Angry Beavers kid.
Oh yeah.
But I have to, my actual,
we gotta
Hey
pay
Arnold, I was a Hey
We
Arnold.
gotta pay our respects to Ronnie down there in the middle.
So I watched a lot of Rugrats. I'm not right demographic for that, but I love Hey Arnold. So I was on Hey Arnold. I played Rhonda, who's like the rich bitch in school. But Hey Arnold has such a good heart, and I think I didn't realize that at the time. And there's so much to that show that has such adult themes that when you watch it back, when you're young, you're like, God, Helga's mom was an alcoholic, and Chocolate Boy was teaching us about drug addiction, and Arnold gets mugged, and we had a Vietnam War Christmas episode. It's so beautiful, and like the fact that they were able to teach kids about the Vietnam War at Christmas, it blows my mind. So Hey Arnold, I always say it's your childhood, but it's my childhood too, because I was a kid when I did it. So it's like, it's really special.
I was exactly the right age where I went to see Harriet the Spy because I knew I was getting the ads for because there was the 15-minute preview of Hey Arnold, the pilot. They did the first.
Really?
They showed a short film of Hey Arnold before Harriet the Spy and advertised it on Nickelodeon. I was like, gotta go see this new cartoon, it looks amazing. And I was hooked right away.
I think you just unlocked a core memory for
me. Yeah, I didn't make this up, right? Hey Arnold, they
sure.
premiered it before Harriet the Spy in theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, that was exactly my.
You know what's funny? We had a Harriet the Spy poster in the green room, and now I know why.
Now you know why. It all comes around. How about you, Jenny?
Well, we didn't have cable growing up. I know, this is very true. My parents didn't know what cable was. They didn't pay for it. And so I didn't grow up. I didn't have the Disney Channel, I didn't have Nickelodeon, I didn't have HBO After Dark that you weren't supposed to watch. I didn't have any of that. So I honestly, the first Nickelodeon show I had was when I made them buy it so I could watch Nickelodeon. I mean, Avatar.
Yeah, wow, nice. It's a good one to start with. It's kind of the best one to start with. James, do you have a Nicktoon favorite?
Well, I am so much older than everyone else here. So it's not that we didn't know about cable and things. We didn't have cable. Back in my day, we just had the 4 channels, you know. But I guess as far as Nickelodeon cartoons, I have to be biased toward Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it was a great group record I got to do, and a lot of my friends to this day are from that cast. So.
Right on. Now, Jenny, I want to stop back with you. I love Suki. Suki, I've been rewatching the show recently. Yeah. Kiyoshi, we got any Kiyoshi warriors out here?
Where?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
We got one right here. Oh yeah, right here. That's a great outfit. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Suki is such a pivotal character in the show. I think she is such a model of leadership, especially for Sokka, really. But what was your favorite part of bringing that character to life, and especially that leadership quality? Like, how did you find that in your performance?
You know, to be honest, when I got the breakdown for the character, and I'm trying to remember because it was, since 2005, I remember there was an original image of her, and then a description. Basically, she was a teenager, but she was just this warrior. And again, like Jack was saying, a lot of the times you just get the breakdown, and you get an image, and then you get these lines, right? And you have to interpret it how you would deliver that along with the writers, what they imagine the character to be, or the director, Andre, who's amazing. And so we collaborated on that to make Suki what she is, right? It's not only one person. I honestly was like, oh, I hadn't even seen any of the episodes until I had to do some what's called ADR work when we go back and do pickups, and I was like, oh, she's pretty cool. But the thing that's really cool about her as I went through is that they developed her more, and as you guys know, there's such a sense of community for Suki that she is definitely of service, and I'm a Virgo. It's one of my traits, so I think it just happens naturally. So, but yeah, so it's just really cool to kind of see that as they developed her, and we learned more about her backline and her storyline and what she stands for. So, you try and do the character justice, and hopefully, I was able to accomplish that with everyone.
Oh, I think so. So, Zach, I've got another question for you here. Of course, Mark Hamill, we were talking about Batman, the animated series earlier. Mark Hamill, probably one of the most iconic villain voice actors there is. The voice of Firelord Ozai. When you were recording the Sozen Comet episodes, did you have a sense of the gravity of what putting Aang up against a Mark Hamill villain voice would be like?
Absolutely not.
No.
I honestly don't think I really realized that it was Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, until I was a little bit older. I think I knew at the time, but I definitely didn't understand the gravity of that, right? And now, looking back on it, unfortunately I never got to meet him. Again, I was always alone. But the fact that I can say I acted opposite Luke Skywalker in a scene is pretty cool.
You have proof. We've seen it.
It's true. I didn't really, but it's there. It exists. And I think that's another just testament to how good our vocal direction was to make it work. And yeah, it's the ending of the show is one of the best television endings of all time, I think. And I don't mean, I'm biased, but I really do believe that. Having Mark Hamill as a part of that, it just makes it all that more special.
Yeah, it's can we go down the line here and just because it's all so fresh in my head? What is everyone's favorite episode of the show? Or March? Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. For me, I like the Guru episodes. I think it's just an introduction to spirituality that you don't see in kid shows, and I appreciated that. I thought it was a very cool direction that the show took.
Yeah. Jack, how about you?
I love, it's cheating because it's like 2 to 3 episodes, but the Siege of the North, everything the Northern Water Tribe at the end of season 1, I just think it's like a gorgeous setting. I love all the Yue stuff. I think it's like a beautiful like coming into his power for Aang, but it's also just like that, when recording it, end of season 1 is when it was like starting to be clear just how serialized, just how willing they were going to be to like change fundamental parts of the world and like break things and have characters come and go and die on a kid show. Was like, okay, we're doing something else now. So it was a really special episode to be a part of, and then I think it's just gorgeous visually.
Yeah, Olivia, how about you?
I love Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, that's
always
one
a
of my
classic. And I love The Beach.
Yeah.
Because I like origin stories and just kind of anything, and you get a lot of origin stories of everybody in that. And also, I think in that episode you remember they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like that's lost.
It's almost like a little John Hughes movie.
It is, and I think they specifically said that they kind of based that on Breakfast Club a little bit.
You get that feeling.
And so you get that, and you get this kind of episode of a little levity in a very dark season, and also you get to watch Azula cringe, or like it's so cringe watching her flirt and do all that, and so I like that episode. Yeah, that's a fun one.
How about you, Jenny?
Mine is a toss-up, but I always say I love Appa's Lost Days because Suki really gets to have this bond with Appa, who's one of the main characters, you know, of the show. And when I rewatch it, just to see Appa's journeys, you know, when he gets captured, it's so heartbreaking, but so deep. Bradley Baker is able to just bring so much emotion to that character. Like, even when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I tear up. But yeah, that definitely is one of my favorites.
How about you, James?
My favorite episodes are the ones where a cabbage cart appears. those are very special to me. No, actually, I really love all the Eclipse episodes because it just, there's, you know, Azula, who I'm a stand for. She had so much of a presence there, and also that was kind of where Zuko made that switch. It was kind of a very pivotal moment for him, and I found myself very emotional watching that. So those are my favorites.
Awesome. Now, obviously, we've got a lot that this show teaches us. This is one of the things that I love most about Avatar, is that it's full of really great life lessons. Is there anything that any of you have like personally taken away from the teachings of this show and kind of folded into your own lives?
I think I just touched upon it earlier. You know, when people come up to me and they say, oh, Suki, you know, she's such, like you were saying, Tom, she's such a leader. She's, you know, has all these great morals about her. And sometimes when you portray a character, you don't always line up with the character that you're voicing or acting. And, you know, sometimes you don't want to be compared to a serial killer, right? But I really got lucky with Suki as far as just learning from her, I think, over the years of, again, her moral standpoint and her acts of service. I'm like, oh, I should probably be more like that. Like, she's like a great character. I like that. So when that's reflected back to me, I'm like, oh, okay. Or there's a lot of universal themes throughout the show, right? And that's been really great to kind of just be a part of and remember those things of why, you know, things are important.
All right. Zach, was there anything for you about Aang that, like, a particular challenge you saw that character go through that really kind of resonated with you, kind of being of a similar age to that character when you were growing up with him?
Yeah, good question. Man, Aang dealt with so much that was so heavy, the loss of his entire people, and having to save the world. And these are things that me, as like a regular 12-year-old kid, luckily, I never was in that same boat. But Aang is like such a big part of me that like I felt like I went on that journey with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really think that I personally learned a lot from Aang the character and playing him, and I try to incorporate his ideals into the way I live my life. If there's one particular struggle, I don't know, man. Aang just went through so much and just teaches lessons to everybody, and I'm lucky to have had that. You know what I mean?
It's such a great show in that way. I know you guys might just have some questions for these folks. They have been nice enough to agree to answer some. So if we could get the audience mic out here, we're gonna let you guys answer a couple questions. I'll let you know where the mic's gonna be in just a second here. Here comes the mic. By the way, speaking of Tales of Ba Sing Se, something that I recognized is that I think we've never seen a haiku battle on screen before, and the Tales of Sokka, that's going to be hard to top if they ever want to do that again. So where's that? Here, we got the mic right down here. Yeah. Do we have any questions? We have time for 2 questions.
Oh, 2.
Where's? I think we got to let Zuko ask a question.
Yeah.
I think it's only right. He has lots of questions. Zuko there. Where is my honor?
You look great.
Avatar.
Oh, we got a question for Zach.
I've been looking for you, first off.
Oh! He's got the wanted poster!
Did you make that?
I've got a question that the Fire Nation's been wanting to know. All right. What's your skincare routine? Because you look really good for an old man.
For 112 years old, yes, yeah. Being stuck in an iceberg works wonders for your skin, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You look great, by the way. Nice job.
Question. Oh my gosh. Now we got a Water Tribe member right down here. I think we should throw it to the Water Tribe, balance out that fire.
Hi, my question is for Jenny.
All right.
I know Suki is Earth Kingdom and not a bender, but if she were to be a bender, what element would she be able to bend?
What element would she bend?
That's a good question. Now, I'm not just saying this because Sokka is Suki's boyfriend.
Okay.
I'm not just saying this, but and Katara is Sokka's. But I always thought, me as Jenny, who likes water because I grew up near the ocean here in LA. LA represent. Yes, we're so happy here. But I always thought it'd be cool to be able to bend water, just because. My fear around water, but then also too, Suki lives on an island and, rides a unagi or tries to train it. But yeah, I thought that'd be cool. But then on the dark side, that bloodbending is really dark too.
See, I think this is a trap. Whenever I hear someone say, I want to be a waterbender because of bloodbending, it's like, you want to be a firebender. Just admit you would like to be a firebender.
Ooh-wee. I don't know. She got caught up in that on that island. No.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone here from the Avatar: The Last
Airbender
cast for coming out. Thank you for being such a fantastic audience. Great to see you. I wonder. Maybe if we ask really nice.
Wait,
I wonder.
Tom,
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, you guys, can we do a really quick picture with us up here before we take off? And thank you guys so much
Let's
for
do
coming.
it. We're over in, I don't know, Huntington Beach.
The other one.
Find us
We're in the South Hall, or West Hall, you guys.
Go see him.
West towards the ocean,
Go
y'all.
see him. And I wonder here at the end, James.
Yeah.
Would you be so kind as to send us out with just 2, I'll let you pick any 2 words, but it's your responsibility to choose them.
Want to try? If you were out in the West Hall, you would be hearing this ad nauseum. So.
Can confirm.
Okay.
Let him prepare, let him cook.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Zach Tyler Eisen, Jack DeSena, Olivia Hack, Jenny Kwan, and James C. Thank you so much, everyone.